So once again, good morning to all. So today our topic is Introduction to Hemodynamic and Electrophysiology of Heart. So as the name indicates, hemodynamic means the study related to the blood. Okay, so that a study that can related to the blood is considered under the hemodynamics, and electrophysiology of heart means the study related to the electrical impulses or action potentials, so that was generated in the heart for normal functioning. So that was known as the electrophysiology of heart. The study of hemodynamics and electrophysiology of heart, it is one of the interested topic. It was helpful for to detect the, that is, the disorders of the related to the cardiovascular system, and it is also helpful for the treatment of the various disorders or conditions related to the heart or cardiovascular systems. So if you are familiar with hemodynamics and electrophysiology of heart means you are the able to easily you can give the accurate therapy or treatment. So regarding hemodynamics, so hemodynamic is a physical and physiological principle of blood flow circulatory system in the body. Okay, so in our body, so various circulatory systems are present. So first one most important, that is the systemic circulation. So systemic circulation is helpful for the transport of the blood between heart and organs. So that comes under the systemic circulation. And second most important, that is the pulmonary circulation. That is the exchange of the blood between heart and lungs. So that is helpful for the oxygenation process. Then third one is the coronary circulation. That is the circulations of the blood between heart itself or heart to the wall of the hearts or muscles of the heart, that is known as the coronary circulation. It is also one of the important, because if any problem in the coronary circulation, then the heart do not got the sufficient oxygen. So due to that, the heart is under malfunction, or maybe heart failure, or maybe other disorder is occurs. So last one is the fetal circulation, that is the circulations of the blood between mother and as well as the womb. So that is known as the fetal circulations. So here the study of flow property of the blood within the body is known as a hemodynamics or hemodynamics, and the study of the properties of blood flow is called the hemorrheology. So how the blood can transported, so where to where transported, so what are the factors or pressure, so that can regulate the flow of the blood. So that was helpful for the detections of the risk factors for the serious disorders. For example, hydrostatic pressure, that is pressure exerted due to water present in the blood. So that is helpful for the blood flow in systemic circulations or any other circulations, or even in the glomerular filtration. The hydrostatic pressures play important role. If you know familiar with the hydrostatic pressure or normal pressure, if the pressure was increases due to excess of consumptions of water, so on that time we are suffering from the hypertension. So that's why if the pressure was increases, so that can be detected by the certain instruments, so then you can got the risk factor for hypertension. So due to more accumulations of water inside the body, so due to that, that candidate was suffering from the hypertension. So according to that, it is helpful for you to choose the drug. For example, it is related to the water accumulation, then you can give the diuretics. So diuretic, it can enhance the excretions of the water from the body through urine. So that diuretics is also helpful for the management of the hypertension. So that's why the study of the flow properties of the blood is essential, or it is give a clue regarding the various information, so risk factor for the various serious disorders. And regarding cardiovascular hemodynamics, it means the blood flow within the heart, that is the coronary circulation. So that is known as the cardiovascular hemodynamics. So regarding compositions of blood, so blood mainly consists of 44% RBC, So RBC play important role in the transportations of oxygen from lungs to the different part of the body. If RBC number is increases, so then also the serious disorder is occurs. Or if RBC number is decreases, then also the serious disorder is occurs. For example, if RBC number increases means, so they can create the more pressure on the blood vessels or on the heart. So due to that, the hypertension is occurs. If RBC number decreases means the deficiency of oxygen is occurs in the organ as well as in the heart. Then heart suffering from the palpitation, then the person was suffering from the angina, atrial flutter, atrial fibrillations, maybe cardiac arrest. So like that. So RBC also having important role, or it can participate as a cause of the various disorders. And regarding 1%, they are the platelets. So the platelets as well as white blood cells. So white blood cells are the defense mechanism. If their number increases means, then various cardiovascular disorders occur, especially atherosclerosis due to chemotaxis or accumulations of the WBC in the blood vessels. So that or it can form the plug. And as well as platelet, it can cause the blood coagulation. It is involved in the formations of the plaque or clot in the blood vessels where the RBC mother force further more cells or fats can be accumulated. It is responsible to cause of the atherosclerosis, and atherosclerosis is one of the main risk factor to cause of the heart death or cardiac failure. Okay, so that's why, so increase decrease in the blood cells, that is also give the clue regarding the risk factors for the serious disorders. Remaining 55%, so they are the plasma, so they consist of water about 99%. Then regarding ions like sodium, calcium, potassium, if their number increases or decreases, if you are studied by the hemodynamic or hemorrheology, then also you can got the risk factors for the hypertension. For example, if the sodium level increases means, so that can causes more depolarizations. So due to more depolarizations, the person was suffering from the hypertension. If potassium level increases means, so that can cause the failure of the kidney. So due to failure of kidney, once again the hypertension can be occurs. So like that, so the hemodynamics regarding the blood component, that is also clue, give the clue regarding the risk factors for the various severe disorders. And it's also contain proteins, albumin, globulins, gamma globin, many are there. Then nutritions like glucose, amino acids, or certain fats, cholesterol, triglycerides are present. Then waste material like urea, creatinine, or many substances they are present. Then as well as gases like oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide is also present in the blood. So the study of component under the hemodynamics or hemorrheology, so that is also give the clue regarding the risk factors for the hypertension. So regarding functions of blood, so the main functions of blood is the blood play important role in the transportations of the oxygen and nutrition from lungs to the different tissues, and as well as it is involved in the removal of the waste material and removal of the carbon dioxide from tissue towards the lungs or excretory organs. So blood, it's also play important role in the hemorrhage or loss of the blood from the body due to involving in the blood coagulations with the help of the platelets. So platelets, so they are involved in the blood coagulation. So that blood coagulation process is helpful for to prevent the further loss of the blood. So the blood, it can also carries the cells and antibodies. So due to that, so they are involved in the defense mechanism. Then as well as, so the blood play important role in the regulations of the body temperature as well as involved in the regulations of the blood pressure. So next one is the regarding introduction into cardiovascular system or heart. So cardiovascular systems is mainly consist of the blood vessels and as well as the heart. So these organs comes under the cardiovascular system. So here the cardio means heart and vascular means the blood vessels. So that is comes under the cardiovascular system. Then second, regarding autorhythmicity, that is the heart having the capability to produce its own action potential. So that property of the cardiac muscle or heart is known as a autorhythmicity. Then second one is the sinoatrial node or also known as the SA node. So this SA node involved in the automaticity or generations of the action potential. So that action potential is helpful for the contraction or functioning of the heart. And SA node, it is mainly present in the right, that is right atria, or as well as the opening of the superior vena cava. So regarding pacemaker cells, so pacemaker cells are the one type of cardiac cells. So they are involved in the generations of the action potential or current, so that was required for functioning of the heart. So regarding pacemaker cells, so SA node is known as a pacemaker cells, or AV node, bundle of phase, and Purkinje fiber. So these all are known as the pacemaker cells, and these pacemaker cells, so they are involved in the conductions of the heart, are involved in the conducting systems of the heart, or they are involved in the transport of the action potential from one part to the another part. So due to that only the heart can be contract, so that was helpful for to pumping of the blood. If any fail pacemaker, then the heart was fail. If it is more access, then the person was suffering from the cardiac arrhythmia, atrial flutter, and atrial fibrillations. So regarding the heart rate, so that is the beats per minute is known as a heart rate. It compromise, that is contraction as well as the relaxations of the cardiac muscles. So the normal rate is 72. If it is more than 72, so that condition is known as the tachycardia. If less than 72, so that condition is known as the bradycardia. If the heart rate, if it is crosses the more than the 80, so that was the tachycardia. If the heart rate is less than 60, so that condition was known as the bradycardia. So regarding the blood pressure, that is the blood can exerted pressure on the wall of the blood vessels, so that is known as the blood pressures. So due to flow of the blood, certain pressure can fall on the blood vessels, so that pressure was known as the blood pressure. And blood pressure once again classified into three types: arterial blood pressure, venous blood pressure, as well as the capillary blood pressures. In the capillary, so the maximum blood pressure is 40 mmHg, but in the veins the maximum blood pressure is 15 mmHg. But in arteries, so the maximum blood pressure is 120 bar 80 mmHg. So whatever the doctors, so they written or they consider for diagnosis of the blood pressure is, so they are count the or they consider the arterial blood pressure or pressure present in the arteria, so that blood pressure was considered for diagnosis of the CVS disorder. And normal arterial blood pressure is 120 bar 80 mmHg. If the pressure more than 120 bar 80 mmHg, so that condition was known as a hypertension. If the pressure less than 120 bar 80 mmHg, so that condition was known as a hypotension. So regarding functions of the heart, so heart is a pumping organ. It can pump the blood throughout the body, and blood also play important role in the transportations of the nutrients along with the blood from one part to the another part. Our blood is also involved in the removal of the waste materials along with the heart. So like that, the heart can participate in the circulatory systems by creating the pressure on the blood. So regarding the controlling system of CVS, so there are the two system. So they are involved in the to control the functions of the CVS or functions of the heart. So first one is a sympathomimetic nervous system, and this system is also known as a fight and flare system. This system is required for to prevent the damage of the organs due to release of the various hormones like adrenaline, noradrenaline, so they are cortisol. So they are involved in the fight against the various mechanisms or fight against the damaging of the organ due to the stress. So that's why sympathetic nervous system is known as the fight and fear system. And regarding parasympathetic nervous system, it is also involved in the to control the functions of the CVS, and the parasympathetic nervous system is known as the rest and digest. It is helpful for to relaxations of the body, and it is helpful for digestions of the various materials in the body. And the failure of the sympathetic nervous system, the persons cannot be survive more than 24 hours, because the sympathetic nervous system is mainly responsible for to increase the blood pressure. Okay, so when the blood pressure is fall than the normal, so due to that, the more waste material can be accumulated in the body, so that material can cause the death of the organ. But the CNS, it can control the heart rate, it can control the blood pressure by increasing its function through a activations of the sympathetic nervous system. So when the sympathetic nervous system is activated, automatically the functions of the cardiovascular system is increases. And if it is more than normal, then only that is known as the hypertension. So on that time, the same CNS, it can activate the parasympathetic nervous system instead of the sympathetic nervous system. Then the parasympathetic nervous system, it is responsible for to decrease the cardiovascular functions. And here the sympathetic nervous system, it can control the functions of CVS with the help of the sympathomimetic fibers, or with the help of the neurotransmitter like adrenaline, noradrenaline, and dopamine. And parasympathetic nervous system, it can control the functions of the CVS with the help of the parasympathetic fibers, as well as the neurotransmitters like a acetylcholine. So like that, the sympathetic nervous system, it consists of neurotransmitter like adrenaline, noradrenaline, dopamine, and parasympathetic nervous system, it can consist of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. So like that, these four neurotransmitters play important role in the regulations of the cardiovascular functions. Regarding nutritions of the heart, heart is mainly required the sodium, that is, it is a depolarizing agent. So depolarization is nothing but the development of the positive charge inside the cardiac cell, so due to accumulations of sodium, so that condition is known as the depolarizations. And depolarization is required for the functioning of the cardiac muscles or functioning of the cardiac cells, and depolarization is required for the opening of the calcium channel. And second nutrition is required for or essential for heart is a calcium. Okay, so that is calcium, it is required for the contractions of the cardiac muscle, so then only the heart can be pumped or pressure can be created on the blood, so that is helpful for to circulate the blood. And as well as the calciums involved in the conducting system, that is the transport of the information or action potential from SN node to AV node, AV node to AV bundle to Purkinje. That transmission of action potential is mainly depending upon the ability of the calcium in the cardiac. So that's why calcium is also essential nutrition for the heart. And next one is a potassium. So potassium, it is required for relaxations of the cardiac muscle after depolarization and after contractions. Then next one, we require the heart is required ATP through a glucose. So these are the four essential material or nutrition, so they are required for the heart. If any abnormalities in the concentrations of sodium, concentrations of calcium, and concentrations of potassium, then only the person was suffering from the heart disease. For example, if the sodium level increases means, then the person was suffering from the hypertension. If calcium level is increased means, then the person was suffering from the cardiac failure or angina. If the potassium level increases means, the person was suffering from the hypotension. So due to that, so these are the, if they are normal, then only the cardiovascular system can work in the normal condition. So regarding the common heart diseases, so heart failure is a common disease. It is occurs due to inability of the cardiac muscle to contract and relax. So that condition was known as the heart failure. Okay, if the heart failure occur means, so whatever drug you are administered, that drug should be increase the calcium level in the cardiac muscle. Then only, so that drug was helpful for to treat the heart failure. Then angina, due to deficiency of coronary circulation or deficiency of oxygen in the cardiac muscle, sudden pain is occurs in the heart. So that condition was known as the angina. Then cardiac arrhythmia, so due to more accumulations of calcium, the heart rate was increases more than 250 per minute. So that condition was known as the cardiac arrhythmia. Then hypertension, the blood pressure if it is more than 140 bar 90 mmHg. So that condition is known as the hypertension. It is occurs due to any functions of the organs like liver, lungs, or kidney, are due to accumulations of the blood vessels by cholesterol or atherosclerosis, or due to excess of the nutrients like sodium and calcium. So due to that, the blood pressure was exceed more than 140 bar 90 mmHg. So that condition was known as a hypertension. So last conditions commonly related to the heart is a hypertension, that is blood pressure less than 120 bar 80 mmHg or less than 100 bar 70 mmHg. So that condition was known as the hypertension. And hypertension occurs due to decrease the concentrations of sodium and calcium or increase the concentrations of potassium. If you want to treat the hypertension means either you increase the sodium or calcium, go through a hemodynamics, or you can decrease the potassium level from the body. So that was helpful for the treatment of the hypertension or helpful for to diagnosis of the risk factors for the heart diseases. So these are the introductions regarding the cardiovascular system. So now we learn regarding the action potential. So that was generated in the cardiac muscle. So this is the typical structures of the action potential. Okay, so that was generated during the conducting systems of the heart. Okay, so that is the phase 0 is known as a depolarization or rapid depolarization. So due to increase the potential or firing capacity of the SA node, it can causes the rapid opening of the sodium channel in the SA nodes or in the cardiac cells. So due to opening of sodium channels, the more sodium can be accumulated in the cardiac cells. So due to accumulations of sodium in the cardiac cells, so the charge in the cardiac cells that becomes the positive. Actually, the resting potential, the charge in the cardiac muscle is a minus 90 millivolt. So due to when the action potential reaches minus 90 millivolt, automatically the sodium channels are open. So due to opening of sodium channel, the sodium can be enter or accumulated in the cardiac cells or in the SA node. So that condition was known as the rapid depolarization. So where the minus 90 millivolt becomes the plus 90 millivolt or positive charge. So that condition was known as a rapid depolarization. It is the phase 0. Then phase 1. So after rapid opening of sodium channel, they are closed. And during the closing of sodium channel, certain potassium channels can be efflux. So they are exist from the cardiac cells or their movement from intracellular fluid into the extracellular fluid. So due to movement of potassium through a membrane of the cell, it can create some positive charge. So due to that, some lines are occur. So that phase was known as the phase 1 or early repolarization. So early repolarization is occurs due to closing of sodium channel and exit of the potassium from the cardiac cell, that is known as the efflux of the potassium from the cardiac cell. So that was known as the phase 1 or early depolarizations. And phase 2, it is known as a plateau. So after this or due to depolarization, the calcium channels are opens or the calciums can be released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum of the cardiac cells. And sarcoplasmic reticulum, so these are the storehouse for the calcium. They are present in each and every cells. So due to depolarization, the calcium can be released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum, or calciums can be entered through a calcium channel, that is L type of the calcium channel. So those are present in the cardiac cells or cardiac muscle. So same time the potassium can be efflux or exist from the cell, and the ratio is same. One molecule calcium enter inside a cell means the same molecule, one molecule potassium can be exist from the cardiac cell. So due to that, the action potential was stable. So that condition was known as a plateau. So then after that, that is the phase 3, that is the repolarization. So it is occurs due to closing of the calcium channel and still the potassium channels are open. So due to that, certain charge was present. So that phase was known as the repolarization. So where the calcium cannot be enter, or calcium channel completely blocked or closed, but still the potassium channels are open, it can exist from the cell. So due to that, certain views are occur. So that was known as the phase 3 or repolarization. Then last one is the phase 4, that is the resting membrane potential. Then where the sodium calcium exists from the cell and potassiums can be accumulated inside the cell. So due to that, once again the charge become the minus millivolt. That was known as the resting membrane. So this is the typical view of the each and every action potentials of the cardiac muscle. If any problem, that can easily detect. If the sodium level is increased, means the depolarization duration was more. If the more means, that indicates so that severe disorder is occurs due to any problem in the sodium. If it is any problem in the plateau, so that indicates some problem in the potassium exist, or some problem in the calcium entry, or more calcium can be released or enter. So like that, with the help of the action potential of cardiac muscle, then also we can diagnose the various conditions of the cardiac diseases, or you can find out the risk factors for the serious disorders. So these are the electrophysiology of heart. So when the electrogram, it can record the electric potential or waves. So in the monitor, it can display like the waves. If the waves is like this, it indicates the waves are recorded from the SA node. If it is this, after that it is recorded the waves transmitted in the arterial muscle. Then wavy node is also like that. Then common bundle per Purkinje fiber, and whole ventricle muscle. So the waves like the typical action potential. If the waves are seen in the monitor means, so that indicates so this part of the waves that can recorded by the electrocardiogram. So this is the normal ECG. It consists of the four waves P, Q, R, S, T. Okay, P waves if occurs when the action potential is passes from SA node to AV node. So during the traveling of action potential from SA node to AV node, so that action potential it completely cover the arterial musculature, or it can completely cover the muscles of the artery. So then how the action potential transmitted or traveled, during that the artery can be contracted. So due to contractions of the artery, the P waves are recorded on the ECG. Okay, if the P wave is recorded, so that indicates the arterial muscle or contraction or arterial depolarization is occurs, or the positive charge can develop in the arterial muscle. So on that time the P wave is recorded. If the machine is recorded QRS continuously, it indicates ventricular depolarization. So that action potential is reaches from AV node to bundle, and bundle to the Purkinje fiber. It denotes the ventricular depolarization or contractions of the ventricle. So on that time, the QRS waves can recorded on the ECG machine or electrocardiogram. And regarding T waves, so these T waves are recorded during the relaxations of the ventricular, that is ventricular repolarization. So it is helpful for filling of the heart. And QRS, it denotes ventricular depolarization. It is helpful for the empty of the ventricle. And P waves, it denotes the actual depolarization. It is helpful for the empty of the artery, or the flow of the blood from artery to the ventricles respective. So on that time the P is occurs. So this ECG is also helpful for the diagnosis of the various disorders. If any problem in the P waves, for example, if P waves look like a M, okay, it is actually dumbbell like structure. It is look like a M means the extrasystole can produces, or any block can occurs in the arterial muscle. So due to that, there is a problem in the traveling of the action potential. So on that time the P wave is abnormal. It shows the M like shape. If it is absent means that indicates the SA node was fail. our pacemaker cells was fail, our heart block can be occurs. So with the help of the P waves, we can diagnose the conditions of the arterial muscle. If it is good, so that serious disorder is not related to the arterial muscle, then you can go for the study of QRS views. If it is longer, then it is indicates the deficiency of sodium calcium can be occurs in the ventricular muscles. If it is short earlier, then also it indicates some problem in the traveling of the action potential from AV node to the bundle of Purkinje fiber or AV bundles. So that can studied traveling matter with the help of QRS. If any problem, so that can diagnose some problem in the ventricle. So then on the at help of medication, we can correct that conditions. If the T wave is abnormal, so that indicates there is a problem in the relaxation system of the heart filling, because T waves are generated or recorded in the ECG during the relaxations of the ventricles. If it is short or if it is long, that indicates the complete filling or complete emptying is do not occurs in that. So due to that, there indicates the cardiac that is a ventricles, so they are swelling or they are suffering from the atrophy. So according to that only the doctor they can find a risk factor, the heart can be swell, then according to that only they can use the antibiotics or many other medication, so they can treat the swelling of the ventricle. So like that the ECG, the study of ECG is also helpful for the diagnosis of the various disorder. So if you should be familiar with the ECG, so then only you are able to diagnose the various disorder conditions of the heart. Okay, thank you.